Hi, welcome to Street Priest Ministries. I'm your host, Brother Jay, as we're taking the Gospels back to the streets. Today's drive-through message is, the violent taketh it. Matthew 11:12. Today, we're going to discuss violence in the Bible. You've heard me say many times, over and over and over again. This book here is a war book. And it's filled with violence. From the beginning of the book to the end of the book. From God wiping out millions in the flood in Genesis to Revelations where he's wiping out millions by fire in the earth. On the earth. The violence. And in the middle, between Genesis and Revelations, war. God killing people left and right. He killed 2.25 million rebels that wanted to fat mouth him in the Bible. This is his own people. They strode their carcasses in the wilderness. This is a violent book. And we're going to read a verse that's very obscure in the Bible. Not many people. I haven't heard any preacher preach on it. Where it talks about the violent taketh heaven by force. Very obscure verse. But we as street priests, we read the entire Word of God. I done taught from Genesis to Revelation, book by book. Now, there were several violent characters in the Bible. The one that comes to mind, Moses. Good old loving Pastor Moses. He started out murdering a man. Buried him in the sand to cover up his murder. And had to flee Egypt. Because of the murder. Of an Egyptian soldier. Or captain. This is Pastor Moses. Now, he calmed down after 40 years on Mount Horeb tending sheep. But still, this is the same Moses that God led him back to that same mountain, Mount Sinai, Horeb, same mountain. And he killed, once again, 3,000 gold calf worshippers, made them eat gold dust soup before he killed them at the foot of the mountain, 3,000. Good old Pastor Moses. Violent. Let's move on. Somebody else violent. David. Everybody loved the Psalms. He wrote 2/3 of them. Good old loving David. There was a song that was being sung in Israel. David killed his 10,000. He killed 10,000. This is the same David that chopped the live head off and held that head up and ran around holding it like a trophy. David was so bloody. This is the same David. By the way, that murdered a man, Uriah, and took his wife, Bathsheba, as his wife. Murder and adultery. Violent. Same David that was so bloody that God said, your hands are too bloody. I can't even have you build my temple. I'm going to have your son, Solomon, build it. There's too much blood on your hands. But this is a man after God's own heart. Wrote 2/3 of the Psalms. Everybody loves David. Everybody loves to quote the Psalms. I love Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He leadeth me green pastures, restoreth my soul, leading me beside still waters. Yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest me a table in the presence of my enemies. My cup runneth over. Yea, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the temple of the Lord forever. Love that song. And a lot of other songs. It's a whole plethora of songs I love from David. Psalm 37, Psalm 84, we can go on and on. 22, 34. Great songs. And these were songs played. He was a musician. This was played to music. Harp. He's a harp player. But that harp player will cut your head off. Violent. Let's go on to somebody else. That was David. Then you have Jehu in the Bible. Jezebel killer. Get my video. I done taught on all these people. Moses. You can get the teacher if you want. Look at more in-depth teacher. I taught on Moses, several videos on Moses. David. Now we're talking about Jehu. Call him Jehu. The title of the video, Jehu, Jezebel killer. Jehu wiped out Jezebel, the queen, and Ahab, the king's whole family. Wiped the whole family out. I'm talking the whole family. Cousins, everybody. Whole family. And Jezebel, he ordered the men as he moved in to capture Judah, he said, or Israel, he said, throw her out the window. And the men, the eunuchs obeyed and threw her out the window. And he trampled her, Jezebel, with his horse, Rufus, violent. This is the book I read. See, the Bible said, or Jesus said, you make void the word of God, teaching the traditions of men. I don't see the same book or read the same book that Smiley saw and Rufus Glittertees, the New Age Balaams read. It's a war book to me. And I treat it as such. Full of violence. Hell is violent. Been there. You have no idea how violent hell is. The enemy we fight is violent, Satan. This is war. Then you move on down to Pastor Nehemiah in the Bible. The one that built the wall to Jerusalem. You get my teaching on Nehemiah's wall. The video. Very violent. He ripped the beard off the men's faces. This old good old loving Pastor Nehemiah. Ripped the men's beards off in the congregation and slapped them. And made them grab a sword in one hand and a trowel in the other to build the wall. And kill the enemies as we build. It's Pastor Nehemiah. Then we slide on down to our verse here, Matthew 11:12. So go to Matthew 11:12, and we're going to read this verse for ourselves. Like I said, it's an obscure verse. You never hear it taught on, like so many other verses that conflicts with the religious bunch of sloppy agape narrative. They shy away. They run like you would from the plague when it comes to these verses. When it comes to these characters in the Bible. Show them what you're really dealing with. They love the traditions that make void the word of God. And this is Pastor Jesus preaching. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent taketh it by force. The who take it by force? The violent. Friend, God loves you. He really loves you. Get your ass on the battlefield. Get in line and fight the devil. Divided. Read it again. For this is whom it is written. Oh, excuse me. Verily I say unto you, among them that have been among women, there have not been risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, he that is the least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, John the Baptist was violent. John the Baptist looked like a wild man. He went around with animal skins on, eating grasshoppers and honey. He lived in the wilderness. Sure, he smelled like it too, sweating. And this was John the Baptist. Ye snakes, ye generation of vipers, how in the hell can you escape the condemnation of hell? That's how he preached. He was a fiery preacher. Called them snakes, vipers, adulterers. He was nothing nice. Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, that have not risen a greater, this is Jesus, giving praise to John the Baptist. Then John the Baptist, notwithstanding, for that is in the least of the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. And from the days of John the Baptist until the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent taketh it by force. This is war. This is war throughout the cosmos. It's been going on through the ages between God and Satan, between the kingdom of heaven and the kingdom of darkness, between God's angels and Satan's angels, fallen angels. Daniel prayed for 3 weeks. Daniel prayed and it took 3 weeks for his prayer to be answered. Gabriel returned to him and said, beloved Daniel, God heard your prayer, but it took us. The angels was bringing the message to what Daniel was praying for. It took us 3 weeks to fight through the forces of hell, the forces, the kingdom of darkness, to get the message to you. 3 weeks. And Gabriel said, furthermore, I had to ask for Michael, the archangel, the prince, captain of the host, assistance to fight these demonic entities to get through, to get the message to you. Warfare. Every day in the kingdom of heaven is war. Throughout the cosmos, this has been going on for the eon. This is battlefield Earth. We're drafted into this warfare of these two unseen armies that battle every single day. Every day there's warfare around us. We don't see it. Satan's trying to take us out, and God's got his angels defending us. Specifically us in Christ. God called us to get on the battlefield and engage in this war that's going on. We're drafted. There's no middle ground. Even if you don't want to be drafted, you're in Satan's camp. Even if you try to be neutral, there's no neutral in the kingdom. Jesus said, you lukewarm, I'll spew you out of my mouth. Includes lukewarm Christians. I remember as a kid, my dad told me, I was raised in a violent neighborhood. Bullies are lurking around every block to take your lunch money from you. I learned to defend my doggy bowl early on. I remember running in the house one day because I didn't want to fight this bully. He had such a reputation. My dad said, you get out there and fight that bully, or you going to fight me. And my dad looked like Darth Vader. Rolls of muscles, he's 20-year drill sergeant, retired drill sergeant. War vet. So were my uncles, Special Forces. I was raised in the military, but I was raised in a violent neighborhood as well. The hood. My dad said, you get out there and you whoop his ass, I'm going to whoop you. Now, I'd rather fight 10 bullies lined up than fight my dad. And I went out there and whooped his ass. And that's what God does with us. We're drafted to be violent and not loving to the devil and his cohorts. Read to you again, a verse you never heard read in the church whatsoever. They stray from this like we stray from a leopard. And from John the Baptist until now, this is Matthew 11:12, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent taketh it by force. The violent taketh it by force. You got to fight to get into heaven. The Bible says resist, fight the devil, and he will flee from you. The devil's a bully. He's trying to take your crown. He's trying to keep you out of the kingdom of heaven. You need to get aggressive with the devil. Hate you, devil. And the devil said, hate you back. Jay. I hate the devil. It's a difference between loving and loving to be loved. Most Christians love to be loved. They're more concerned about their image than fighting the devil and resisting the enemy. I believe some. Honestly, I believe it. I believe some. They are so distorted with their context. Jesus said, love your enemies. Pray for them that despitefully use you. I believe they put the devil in that camp too, praying for him. They're so distorted in their theology. We're to kick the devil's ass right through the uprights. No such thing as nice on a battlefield. Imagine on a real battlefield. The military out there, and you got a sergeant on the battlefield. Sir, let me get my smile on. Sir, would you please get down and duck in the foxhole because there's an incoming grenade being launched at us, please? Sir, I'm begging you, with sugar on top, cream and all that, please get down. Get your ass down, incoming! Is what you're going to hear. This is a military operation. This is a war book. And the violent taketh heaven by force. The Bible said labor to enter into that rest. It's going to be a lot of Baytards, Smiley Saws, Rufus Glitter Tees, and New Age Balaams in hell. And hell, there's no smiles in hell. Like I said, I've been there. God gave me personal too. The place is very violent. More violent than you can earthly imagine. You have no idea. Now, we're going to look at one more verse. It's another verse. Now, this one here, you never heard taught on. Matthew 11:12. Never heard that taught on about being violent and fighting to take hold of the kingdom of heaven. You never hear that taught on. And this is another one you ain't going to hear taught on. Turn to John 2:15. It's another one they avoid like the plague. We're going to hear the Rufus, the Smiley Saws, Rufus Glitter Tees, New Age Balaams teach on this one either. Oh no, not this one. Anything that mires their honey dripping narrative, they stray from, like the plague. Oh, that's a lot of, Brother Jay taught on a lot of books that you never heard taught on in any pulpit. Get my teaching on famous whores in the Bible. That's one example. You never hear none of them verses taught on in the Bible by no preacher. A lot of them guilty of it anyway. All right, Matthew 2:15. And when he had made a scourge of small cords, this is good old loving Pastor Jesus. About to show you the violent side of Jesus. Something you never hear about. And when he had made a scourge of small cords, he drove them all out of the temple. Now Jesus took some cords, made him a decent rope with knots in it, and whooped away out of the money changers in it. They was hustling out the temple. No different what they doing today. Selling everything out the temple today. They hustling books, rocks, Jerusalem rocks, or Jordan rocks, crosses. You name it. They hustling it out the temple today. And when he had made a scourge of small cords, he drove them all out of the temple, and the sheep, and the oxen, and poured out the changers' money, and overthrew the table. This is violent, a violent act. Good old loving Pastor Jesus. Imagine me taking a rope and hitting you upside the head, and beating the way out of you, and overturning your table. And in another gospel, because each one like a witness, how you know the veracity of the witness is true. Each one tells the same story, but have a little different twist on each story, which shows they've tuned into something different than the other witness. Everybody's saying the exact same thing. It means they were colluding. It's common sense. There's a conspiracy going on. But anyway, they focus on Jesus pushing the people out their chairs, the money changers out their chairs. This chair moves. This chair moves. You can push me out this chair. Imagine Pastor Jesus pushing you out the chair. Don't give me that super spiritual crap. It's hard hitting that floor. This floor is a solid floor. People always try to super spiritualize everything. Them knots hurt going upside my head with that rope from Pastor Jesus. And Pastor Jesus pushing over my chair and pushing over my tables. Then I had my money sitting there and throwing my money out too. Threw the money out the temple. It's a violent act. Care how you try to sweeten it if you want to. And when he had made a scourge of small cords, he drove them out. Violence. And the sheep and the oxen, and poured out the changers' money, and overthrew the tables, and said unto him, their soul doves, take these things hence, make not my father's house and house of merchandise. Don't hustle out the temple. Good old loving Pastor Jesus. The violent taketh the kingdom of heaven. Now, I hope you learned that. All you smiley souls, Rufus Gitter tees, New Age baby, honey dripping babe talkers. Told you, we're on the warfare. This is war. We're on the battlefield. This is battlefield earth. And that's exactly what God called Brother Jay to build this ministry on. Street Priest Ministry is built on street warriors that understand who the enemy is and how to fight. The violent taketh heaven by force. So that's what I'm looking for. There's room for everybody. If you're looking for the honey drippers, go there. That's what I'm looking for, spiritual commanders. And also part of warfare is giving God's way. No army on earth, no military on earth. It don't require money. This is a military operation. And if I'm the one that taught you, Galatians 6:6, give my teaching on giving, I've done plenty of it. Especially latest, the Bank of Heaven and Render unto Caesar, get those 2 videos. If I taught you, only if I taught you, that's the criteria. You know if you've been taught or not, between you and God. Give. Includes you thieving pastors. Go to streetpriestministry.org and hit the donate button. Bring the tithes, first fruit, and alabaster box there. Good day, good evening, good night to you. May you grow in faith around the world. In Jesus' name.